So this is the final video that I'm going to be making, and it's technically, I guess, the second to last lesson in the whole module, which is them peer editing each other's essays one last time before embarking on writing their final draft for publication. So students will again look at other argumentative essays that are answering different prompts to hear how other writers have structured their essays, how they transition between sentences and between paragraphs, and to see how proper MLA formatting should look in their own essay. So again, we're going to be looking at a model before letting them look at their own. The best way to show students how to write is by showing them as many examples as possible. So again, we'll be looking at an example where they have to identify the author's claim, supporting evidence, and the counterclaim before going to their own essay to make sure that they did it correctly. Afterwards, they will be peer editing a partner's essay to look for these errors. They will read their partner's essay aloud so that they can both hear what it sounds like and fix any grammatical errors. They will fill out a peer revision sheet with things that don't sound right, punctuation, capitalization errors, citation errors, and identifying their partner's claim, evidence, and counterclaim before their partner can go back on his or her computer to fix it. So I think the key here really is that the partner is filling in a sheet, like physically writing on a sheet where the errors are. So that allows that partner to be the editor and really see the things that need to be fixed in somebody else's so that they know what to fix in their own. And it also makes the other person have to look at that sheet and then go back and fix it themselves instead of someone just doing it for them. So it's so super important that they do this peer editing on the sheet and then give it to the person to go fix on their own. So some teaching points and lesson targets for the day, again, is just making sure that all of these things, all of these steps that we have already given them to put in their essay is actually there. So these lesson targets this day are like a final checklist alongside of a rubric that they've already analyzed to make sure that their essay is done completely. So just, something fun to eliminate, debate for back and forth for 3 minutes is partner 1 is going to be who's ever taller, partner 2 is going to be who's ever shorter, and then partner 1 will start reading partner 2's essay out loud while the partner 2 is listening and hearing how his or her essay sounds when somebody else is reading it. And I think they definitely get a kick in that when they hear, like, wow, that does not sound good at all. So they're going to be looking for things first that don't sound right, and then they're eventually going to look for common mistakes in tone, punctuation, contractions, or abbreviations, and then the partner has to make sure that they find that person's claim and evidence and support, because if they can't find it, that means they left it out or they did it incorrectly, and it's such a huge part of the rubric and getting a good grade. They need to make sure that on this last day of editing that they fix it. So the easiest way to find mistakes in your writing is to hear it read out loud. So these are one of the examples that we would go through together that I would read out loud for them, and then also show them how I would make this correction for my partner. So if you'd like to pause the video here and go back to that last slide to do some practice on your peer revision, please take a minute. Here is also a sample of a former student's essay that you can kind of tell is written fairly decently, but was not peer edited. Just by looking at it, you can see capitalizations that shouldn't be there. You can see citations that are not correct. And this would be a sample that I would give a student to go through and to make those corrections so that they don't make these same mistakes. And lastly, this is what I would be showing them will be up on the last day as they're drafting their final draft. These are the last things you need to do. Copy and paste your rough draft into a new document. Make sure all these MLA formatting requirements are there. Make sure your citations are good. Make sure your capitalizations, different conventions like that are perfect, because it's a silly reason to get points off on an essay by just doing something like not capitalizing a title. Lastly, they can spend a few minutes making sure their claims are there and double checking their peer revision checklist. But after this, the essay is submitted and they're all done. So hopefully all of these precursor precautions that we've done help them submit a final beautiful publication.